Hi, welcome to the next channel. So almost a year ago I shot a few video series on CDN, and as well as I also shot some of the video episodes on building my own CDN for the TOFFEE Project website. And that time the TOFFEE Project is in Joomla, and then I did various changes, and then I did entirely that entire site I have moved in my custom code. As you can see here, the last article I published is on October 1st of 2016, which is last year. So after that I was busy with something, and then never it happened a situation that transition have happened, and still the website is all hosted in a single location, whether it can be the pages or else the resources like images and etc. So it happened a situation that anyway I have my old domain which I still own. One thing is I have not kept the hosting anymore active in that domain, which is the TraffeeSqueezer.org, as you can see here. So this is the domain which I anyway have. Earlier what I did is this, I was redirecting to this TOFFEE project page, because this TraffeeSqueezer is no longer exists, and instead you have the TOFFEE project in that place. So what happens is, in this domain I have created the hosting for this domain. So technically you have www.TraffeeSqueezer.org, and it has a hosting as well at this point of time. So I created an hosting so that it has a separate server in GoDaddy, whereas in this case, if you consider the TOFFEE project, it has been hosted in InMotion, as I discussed in my previous episodes. So I thought let me get a server space in InMotion, and or else some other hosting site. Anyway, I thought as a part of TraffeeSqueezer, it is in GoDaddy, I anyway picked up a hosting space for the same. So within the same I have incorporated the CDN. I can show you a quick demo. So you should understand the CDN can be various types. You can have private CDNs, you can have public CDNs, I mean subscription based CDNs like Cloudflare, Akamai and stuff like that. So you should understand, in this scenario, this is a private CDN. This is not something hosted somewhere else, or else, I mean, this is not something sort of CDN got via subscription mode. So this way, if you go and see here, I'm sorry, this is my InMotion. Let me take you guys in my GoDaddy. So if you go here, if I go here, you can see here, in this I have some few files. In that there is a folder called CDN, and in this place where I hosted all this CDN resources. So what I have done is, apart from that, if you close this window, let me show you the subdomains. It has a new subdomain which I created just now called cdn.TraffeeSqueezer.org. So in this subdomain all this resources can be hosted, and in future I can even put pages and other stuff. So this way it's been hosted over here. So now what happens is, if you open anytime the TOFFEE project website, some pages or resources can come through CDN. You can see here in the description of this image, I have put in that bracket, it shows as a CDN, whereas if you select some other picture, it may not come as in the brackets, square brackets as CDN, which means this is not coming from the CDN. And if you refresh, it may change anytime. I can also set in the code always pull data from or these resources from CDN, or else I can do some randomization. Sometimes it does this dynamic load sharing and stuff like that. So this is something I have done as a part of my code, and I'm not that interested to discuss the same, because it may reveal too much information to any kind of coordinated attacks or DOS and other stuff. So I just want to keep it simple. So the thing I want to bring to the surface, or would like to share with you guys, is this way you can have so many other resources shared across multiple CDN sites. So not only one location, you can have it in multiple location. You can also have subdomains in multiple location hosted, and this way it does this load sharing. At the same time, you get the sort of functionality of a CDN. As I said, the CDN is a vast topic. It's just not about putting few images here and there. It is in my case, I just want something like a static CDN, so things are manual here. It is not something, everything is automated, but in the code the things are automated to an extent, but it is not something like it happens in the case like you get a subscription from Akamai or Cloudflare or something like that. So this is what it is. So apart from that, if you go here, let me take you guys here. So you can see here I have discussed a few topics on Google page speed insights and etc. So there are certain things, and now it is no more applicable, like minifying and all those things. So that is something it is required at that point of time, because I was using Joomla, but now I have the full control. I have the code, everything done manually. So it is not something which is so important, which is I have taken care. It is even the template files, CSS files, etc. It is not so bloated, something like what I was using in Joomla, because Joomla is a generic platform. It has to contain all those templates, because whether you like or not, it has to just incorporate all those things. Whereas in my case, I can just put a few CSS styling stuff here and there, and that's about it. I don't need to much worry about it. So that is what it is. So this way it is still it's a sort of work in progress. So there are few pages I have converted fully into CDN. There are few pages I have not yet converted in CDN. Let's take an example of this download page. You have this screenshots, and some of them will come from the local server. You can see here these are coming from local server, and this is coming from CDN. You have that square brackets. At this point of time, just to distinguish, I have mentioned in future I may remove that particular resource or image description. This is something I just kept to debug myself, because if something goes wrong, it can terribly go wrong with something like having an external CDN, because it adds that extra layer of complexity, whether you like or not. Let's forget about scalability and all other stuff, but it adds that extra layer of complexity. So that's what we need to deal when you incorporate the CDN. So it has its own advantages and disadvantages. You have that resource availability, and you have you can quickly mitigate any problems. In case if something goes wrong, you can just immediately hop onto some other available resource, and it can work as a contingency site. I can still use that as a contingency site in case something happens in in-motion hosting or something like that. I can just switch that domain pointing from the TOFFEEproject.org, pointing in that InMotion to any other domains or any other hosting on the fly. So you can do that sort of automation, but the question is, it's not that. As you do that private CDN, you have a lot more creativity, unlike you'd get something with the subscription model. Of course, there when you subscribe in services from Akamai or Cloudflare, they may have thousands and thousands of servers, and in case if you are in Japan, if you are in Philippines, if you are in South Africa, you may get these resources somewhere server which is in the data center of that local region, versus pulling all the time from US or UK regions in this scenario. I hope GoDaddy now also hosts certain servers near to that a specific location where they get the users. Not everything from US we get these days, so they have some presence even in India as well. So when you go GoDaddy, it has that region specific website customized. Okay, and they also show these days TV ads and a lot of YouTube and Google ads as well. So this itself says, as you can see here, it has a lot of Indian customization. They have also customer support in India. I believe some or other time they may have certain data centers hosted in India itself. So this way anyone accessing in this area or near that Asia or somewhere regions nearby, they can actually get the data from somewhere nearby and reducing the hops in turn, rather than getting every time from US backbone or something like that. So this is the sort of creativity you get. So this is still a demo. In this case, as you can see, it is just pulling from one specific domain. I can do sort of load sharing. I can even do this thing for around 30 or 40 my affiliated sites. I got also certain server space which is donated to me, and there are certain hosting I got also as a part of donations. I can just spread across anywhere I want. So this is what I can ensure that the load is shared. I get that constant load in the main the TOFFEE project site, and all other resources I can do sort of load sharing, so that the main site is not overloaded at any point of time. Even in future, assume I have thousands of pages in this site, one can wonder why it can contain so many pages. As I said earlier, this is a research project. I don't want to put like any other open source projects which you typically find across in the internet. I don't want to do in that model. Instead, I want to do this in a sort of as a part of research website model. So before I wrap up, like any other CDN hosted website, we can check whether a specific site is using CDN or not, like I discussed in one of the topics discussed earlier in the CDN about the CDN technologies. In this you can see here I have discussed about how to check a website using CDN. So similarly, you can go here and you can just do view page source, and you can generally search like keywords like CDN. You can see here you have this subdomain of TrafficSqueezer. You have that cdn.trafficsqueezer.org and so and so, and this shows that what particular resources are getting fed from the CDN, and what resources are coming from the local system. I can also control in a way that choose, if I have say suppose 3 CDN resources, I can say I can do something like round robin fashion, so that I can choose 3 different sites for different resources. I can do some load sharing in that way. I can also say always choose these images from CDN alone, don't pick it from the local hosting or its parent domain, which is the TrafficSqueezer, the TOFFEEproject.org and things like that. So I can also do something else. Say for example, my wife have a fashion website. Say for example, in this case she have this fashion website. So I can even use this site as well, and I can even put some resources over there, and I can do some kind of round robin basis. But again, provided I need to check this is hosted in GoDaddy, I need to check this is coming from which server, and more or less this particular server and the TrafficSqueezer server both are hosted in the same data center. It doesn't make any difference. So I need to see various things like this. So this is what the resource availability, and this is what that load sharing stuff really comes from, and is there any specific advantage it adds. Say for example, if they have any server in UK, let's take example Romania, because this is the I have few known contacts from Romania, and as you know, in entire Europe, Romania is a sort of internet hub which goes from Middle East, which all the transit the undersea fiber optic cables, so all these cables which comes from Asia and other regions, from India and Singapore, all these cables will terminate somewhere in UAE, and finally it terminates somewhere in Europe, and it finally somewhere else. If you trace the path, it reaches Romania, and whichever it is also coming and originating from UAE, it also goes and terminates in Romania, and from Romania it goes throughout Europe, and from the other side it gets connected to the I suppose East Coast region of the US. So this is what it is. Having said that, at this point of time I'm not much using my wife's website as a CDN context. So however, there are certain instances I am still using it in a different way. Let me show you a quick demo. So if you see here, this is the site Saris Are My Passion, and if you go to Linux channel, and long before I have put some videos in this offline mode, so that in case if the videos are blocked in your office or in your country, you can still download these videos. In that way I have published some of these edited videos. So you can see here, these days I'm not doing it because again it is filling up that hosting space. I need to find some other way to do the same, and of course I do get limited funding, so I need to take care whatever funding it is available. I can't simply dump there and keep upgrading my subscription. So it all depends on how much money I get, whether it is in terms of sponsorship or else through my consultation or whatever it is. So I need to take care of these aspects as well. Anyway, some of the videos I have put over here. So you can see here I have these links, download via HTTP, this is via CDN and SAMP, and these are some of these offline videos. You don't need to have YouTube or Dailymotion or any such platform. In case if it is completely banned, you can download via Google Drive and assume it is even Google Drive is banned or something, like a case or situation like China or something. So in that case you can do download from this particular CDN. So you can see here, this is a regular HTTP download, and I can even make this as an FTP download. Currently I don't want to do the same, so it will come through this resource. So this is really coming from this domain, as you can see here, from sarisaremypassion.org. So this way it's been already done to an extent, but I'm not using it as a sort of CDN, which I have discussed before in the TOFFEEproject.org, like I did those complete automation of images. In this case it is really not an automation, it's just these files have been dumped across in that website, and I'm just pulling the same, and the website is fairly new, and we don't get much traffic yet to the website. It has as you can see, it has few articles here and there, and that's about it. It's about Indian ethnic fashion, so it is still picking up, and this is a sort of topic which is it's just she does, and she's very much interested, and it's just you can think it more like a hobby website. So as one can understand, this is not in a sort of a blog mode, and we get a sort of limited traffic, and the rest we can use that resource. I have around 100 GB of space, so I have some free space, but I can't exploit by dumping all this video files, because it is going to end up consuming a lot of data resources. So that's what it is. So like you can see here, there are some few videos I have done, and if I do keep doing this, I have around 250 or 270 videos published in the Linux channel. So I can't do it for every video I publish. So for now I just stopped doing the same. So you can see here, after some time there are some video episodes. You can find it in Dailymotion in YouTube, and these days I'm really lazy. I'm not putting everything in Dailymotion as well. Sometime down the lane I may do it as a part of offline work, and I may publish in both platforms as well, along with, I may publish along with YouTube. I may publish in Dailymotion as well, so that if in case if YouTube is banned, you can go to Dailymotion, you can watch the same, and sometime down the lane, if I get some dedicated hosting, I may just dump these edited videos in that location as well, and then bring those point those links over here, so that you can download offline and watch it offline at your own comfort at home or something like that. So this way it is quite fascinating. It's just not doing something like CDN just like that randomly, and it is supposed to work, and it is not the case. You have to see all these parameters, because in this case I'm trying to build a complete private CDN, not using any subscription. And if I use a subscription, the story is completely different. You just need to buy their service, and rest is taken care by them, and they do that dynamic load sharing. They also see if any resource is hot, which means used sometime before, then they keep it in the cache and they keep it ready, so that next time if someone opens the same, it gets it it gets pulled out of that cache rather than from the origin server. So this is what it is. So this is a part of thing. Of course, Akamai does in a different way. Cloudflare and Limelight, everyone does in their own way. And now with the cloud networks, you have even more distributed stuff going in the background. So as far as I have been the employee of Akamai, they do completely in a different way. So there is nothing, nothing proprietary, something I'm kind of bring over here. It's just I'm trying to build a very simple private CDN so that this is more than enough for a site like mine. And if you have a complete news website or something, things will be a lot more different there, because you need to take care of even more some serious stuff, and you need to keep that availability and load sharing and scalability things into that main design criteria of your network infrastructure, architecture of your network infrastructure. So with that, I would like to conclude this episode. Hope you guys loved watching this video. In case if you have any questions regarding the same, of course I do consult things like this. I do have done past consultations with a couple of my clients as well. So in case if you are interested in any way, you can be in touch in email. So thank you once again for watching this video. Have a nice day. Stay tuned. Bye bye.